Hey everyone, welcome to Where the Bikers Unite. I'm Catherine Ann, the co-owner of We Are Bikers Unite and creator. Amelia's in Georgia, which hopefully in February I will have Amelia on because I will be actually living next door to her in my RV for a good couple weeks before Daytona in March. So let's begin. Today I haven't really done a lot of biker stuff to this week because of the freezing situation. And to be honest with you, I needed to take a week off of TikTok, of social media. I edited photos, like I was able to focus on just that, and I got a lot done with that. Was able to create some posters for inspiration, but it just took a lot for me to figure out, hey, I got to step back. Everyone knows through these podcasts that I'm traveling right now. I'm in North Carolina. This is the first concept, like this is the first operation we have just to understand how we can grow and do better. I had an idea, Amelia had an idea, but for us to be able to do what we need to do to make this a community organization that umbrellas the entire world, like biker world and rider world, to be a support system, walk parallel to the clubs, walk parallel to every rider, just like not disrupt, but emotionally support and put a humanity back into our communities. It takes a lot. And I knew that with Operation One, I would have to just really listen right now. I have to sit down and listen and talk, dialogue. In between, I'd probably photograph some of the moments, but really just listen to the writers. And it's been definitely an experience because one way it's like I can do this, it definitely has been financially hard because I'm running this myself right now until we start getting financial backing we need. It's been an experience differently. And I've had a lot of great dialogue with writers of saying, hey, this is what you should try. Try to reach out who this is, hey, we recommend this. Especially after I meet them and they're like, okay, we see that your organization is something that we do want to work with and we see who you are. To me personally, that small business shake your hands, look in your eyes, and mean business, and also show that over time physically is so important to me. Sometimes I may go a couple weeks without talking to you, but just understand you're not far from me. It doesn't mean that I don't think of you. Um, right now, when I got into Jackson Springs, North Carolina, I wanted to hit the ground running and do things, and I realized I had to back off. I mean, as a person that sees a community that is embracing you as well, you're like, listen, this is a great opportunity for me to do something, but there's not enough time for me to do it. I am working on doing like a bike night or bike Sunday over there, but I'm playing phone tag with the owner of this establishment. And to be honest with you, you can only play so much phone tag. And so I might go over there next week to try to sit down and talk with her. But the hard part is her schedule is completely opposite of mine. When I am free, she works. When I'm free, she is not there. She's with family. And then when she is working, when I'm supposed to be there to talk to her, I'm unfortunately busy. And so it's definitely been an experience trying to figure out how to make this work. I want to do right for the biker community. Right now, it's just Operation One. It's just getting our name out there. It's just introducing ourselves and talking and listening. Most of all, listening to the community. And I've had to remind myself this week of that. I had a couple panic attacks a little bit because I feel like I'm not doing enough, even though I am doing a lot. I feel that it just is a personal standard. And I also feel that there should be, I don't know, it's hard. It's winter time. You see riders riding in the winter time. They ride all year. But there's times when there's like no one on the road or, some shops are not open on Mondays. Most motorcycle shops around here, from what I've gathered, are closed on Mondays. So I have to, switch to Tuesdays to go visit them or, visit them in the mornings. But like last week, I had to hunker down. I wasted a week of not being able to go anywhere. I was supposed to do the triangle, wasn't able to do that. So, you'd sit there and go, do you beat yourself up or you do reinvent the wheel and try to make it work? And that's the thing that I want to show. I'm showing the inner workings of not only the exciting parts of doing great things, but also the stressful parts of the emotional standpoint of what, number one, what me and Amelia have created, and also what is needed for the writer community, what we hear and how we hear it. we create things not for us. We create things for what we're learning, and try to stop and break things. It's a big monster to take on. And there's days where I'm like, am I meant to take this on? And I know deep down in my heart we are. I just sometimes don't know the pathway. And that's the hardest thing to grasp. You have to really trust your inner insides, I guess you can say, and trust your team. And you realize, I don't know, through the holiday season, I always realize just to back off. So many people are running around everywhere. So many people are in different directions, and it's nothing to do with us personally. And it's the reason why maybe we don't make the connections we would be making connections on in the spring, in the summertime, in the fall. I'm trying to get more organized on events, trying to get more organized on meetups. I'm trying to get, even just to be able to show up and say hi. I'm really trying my best to get out there. There's been times where, like last week, where I just was done. Be frank, I was so tired, and I just needed to back away from social media. And I wanted to talk about that. As a writer, and it could be in all settings. I can't comment on individuals that, go for clouds, but as an individual person, we all have stress. And we go through, it doesn't matter if it's club stress, doesn't matter if it's writer stress or it's family stress or it's life stress or financial stress. We all have stress. And I pray that we can inspire you guys to take a step back. It's not the end of the world. And that no matter what, even if great things take time, like my biker businesses that are starting out, there's some graphic designers I've been meeting that are just starting to get their LLC. Don't quit. Don't stop. It takes so much time for things to blossom. A garden doesn't grow in a day. And you may beat yourself up thinking, well, I'm not watering it enough, or am I not doing this enough? And to be honest with you, it's not, it may be you. I know that I have a green thumb, but I don't have a green thumb. And it takes a lot more work for me to get plants to grow. It takes a bit more work, and it's something that I have to face. I have to look in the mirror and say, okay, how can I do this better? How can I go from point A to point B and make this grow into something resourceful, to make it grow into something beautiful that I can hand off and still be able to maybe be on the board, but like not be like, I don't know. I feel it more of We Are Bikers, where Bikers United can be more of a community organization. I had an idea where I pitched it to Amelia, and I was like, hey, how does the Packers work? The football team, they have, because my mom has shares, she's part of that, and I've always been a Packer fan since I was little. But how does that concept work? And we were pitching it, throwing it back and forth, and I've been talking to some people in the stock world and how it works to own a share, to make it your own. To me personally, there's no right ways of running this organization, but I do know what has done in the past. Yes, some of those things work. Like, we could take a nonprofit side, but we're bigger than a nonprofit. We're not just a nonprofit, we're also a profit side of things. We also do projects. Like, there's different things where we have to categorize and figure out exactly where we need to go. But how do you kind of circle that whole thing and put in a nice little bow in a package? That's the hardest part to grasp. Right now, it's really just me going in and out of the businesses. Amelia's in Georgia. She's doing her stuff in Georgia. And we'll talk about that in February when I sit down with her and let her talk to you guys. She does have the podcast app. She's still figuring out how to do it. But she's going to be more vocal as well. And I'm really excited to have her be more vocal. She is an older writer. She's been writing for years. She's also been a backseat writer. She's also worked in the biker bars. Like, she knows, and her family's bikers. So, like, to me personally, having her voice on here more is really beneficial for all of us. And so I feel like I would want that on there. On top of that, we have people in the back end that cannot show their face or say their names, but they're there as a support system, and they've been writing for years, not only just in life, but also in club life. And so to me personally, like, having those viewpoints need to be respected. We walk parallel to the clubs. We walk parallel to every single writer. We walk parallel to every single biker business. I don't want an organization that overtops everyone as a dictatorship. That's not what's that going to help any of us? It's not, and it hasn't. All these years, it's never helped. And we're not just an organization that's like a support situation. There's already support biker organizations out there. We are here as like an umbrella over that. We're here to support that, but not only support that, but also sit there and say, hey, how can we break stigmas? How can we stand up next with the ABATEs or, the Masons? Or how do we stand next to these individuals, these big organizations that do good for humanity? It's a hard conversation, and it's a big dialogue that I've had to sit down and sit there and say, how do I do this? How do we do this? Right now, I am fully financially We Are Bikers out of my own pockets, and I'm not ashamed of it. There's times where I'm like, oh, well, running to a rider, taking him out to lunch, and a bill. I don't mind going past due on this bill to help that biker out. There's different things that I'm trying to do, and hopefully soon we'll get the financial, but we got to start somewhere. There's no right way of starting. And people are like, well, there's, you need to, get your eggs in a row. And we have our eggs in a row. We have a concept, but again, we're making things from dust. I'm a person that does not like following what other people have been doing. I do not like copying. I'm a very big person when it comes to rights and wrongs. Like, I don't want to do things illegally, but I'm a person that does not like following the group. I am a person that will sit there and, I don't know if you ever saw that TED Talk where the person's dancing in the field and like people are not even paying attention to him and he's just dancing and he's making new moves, and then this other person comes by and he joins in, and then that person somehow inspires other people. I've always been that first person. Always. I've always wondered why, but but that's just who I am, and I'm not afraid to humble myself and sit there and say this is not my idea, it's a team idea, or humble myself and sit there and say that's okay. We're going to get where we need to go in the long run, because no matter what, our mission is here and it's not going anywhere. It's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of breathing room. So, like this week, I knew I had to see somebody. Like, being in the RV for a whole week because of this darn ice storm, I was mad at it, you guys. I was so mad at it. I was like, why are you icing on my parade this week? I was upset because not only I could not meet my riders, but I couldn't meet, biker businesses. I couldn't go in and out of these things. But at the same time, it was nice to be able to relax and get office work done that I've pushed off for a while. And so tomorrow we're going to go in and out of like 3 biker businesses locally just to say hello, take some cell phone pictures outside the store and post the places, and just try to listen because they're the ones that are in the communities. Other than that, we're going to be hanging tight. We're going to probably come back home and enjoy. Biker office hours will start up again once I get to my new destination, which is on Sunday. We leave 1,000 Trails in Advance, North Carolina. We head to close to Charlotte, and I'm going to be at like a mom and pop's RV park, and I'm really excited. The lady was so sweet, and she's respectful of bikers. Like, the first thing I ask these people is, are you biker friendly? Because you never know when there's a day when a biker may come meet me. You never know when a day will happen when I host to be able to feed some riders. You never know that day. Like, to me, that's so important. How to make sure you guys are rider friendly. And she was so sweet. She was been married for 38 years. It's a family establishment, like literally a family runs this. She runs with her husband and then their brother-in-law. She gave me details, a DL of how she does not like her brother-in-law living in their cabins on her property. But we had a hoot and a half on the phone call, and being able to sit there and have that experience is so special to be able to talk about that. And I'm really excited to start. We're going to be there for a whole month, you guys, a whole month. And then before you know it, it's February. And so my goal in February is to spend a week in South Carolina. I know it's not long, or maybe 2 weeks in South Carolina, because it is hard to maneuver. And then we're heading down towards Amelia, and we're going to stay in Albany for a good month or so. I'm going to pay the power bill, the water bill, but I'm going to stay on her property. And then we'll head down to Florida, and we'll hopefully try to get to Florida some way, somehow, and do Daytona. Do maybe head towards Tampa area and south, and then stay down there for March, and then maybe we'll start working our way. I don't know. Florida is so huge. We may just stay there for March and April, and then head back to CoinJock because CoinJock North Carolina is going to have their bike weekend. And we're going to be there in CoinJock for a week.